Hi, friends. Welcome to season 2, episode 6 of Dysfunction Exposed. As always, I'm Emma J, your hostess with the mostess for this particular podcast. And it's all been quite PG, this podcast. But I did say I'm probably going to need one trigger warning. And yeah, I'm sorry, today is it. So today I am going to be talking about my first experience with death and having to grieve as a child. And I appreciate it's a heavy topic. So yeah, just please be mindful when you're listening to this episode if that is the case. But let's just take it back a little bit, because as I was in year 6 and I'm starting to become more aware as I'm going into adolescence, should we say. I'm like, is that... I genuinely thought for a second my mic wasn't recording and I absolutely shat myself. But it is, so we're okay. Let's get back to the story. What a muppet. Anyway, so year 6, I was obviously spending more time in the pub with my dad. But at this point, there was another little girl whose parent would frequently take her to the pub as well. So we became friends by default, basically. Our parents got along, therefore we got along. And it was great because they'd take turns in the childcare. We all know how people who love to spend time in the pubs love to do it without the kids around. So yeah, one of you takes a night off, the other one can have the kids. Works for everyone, doesn't it? But this friendship evolved on the back of me not being such a nice person, to be honest. I remember when this individual was first introduced to me, and she wasn't in my friend circle as such, but we were in the same class, and I didn't particularly want her to come to my birthday party because she wasn't in my friend group. But my dad and this girl's mum obviously having conversations, and my dad was like, yeah, of course you can come. So she came, and the friendship blossomed from there. And it was definitely the blind leading the blind, because we were both being put in these situations we shouldn't have been in. But I'm going to tell you about 2 occasions that I remember very, very vividly. Now, the first one, we were in the care of her mum, and the flat she lived in was run down, and there was no judgment from me as a kid. Like, obviously there's no judgment from me now, but just to give you a visual, it was run down, it wasn't decorated particularly well, like things weren't looked after in that sense. And it was just a playground for me and my mate. Like, we would just listen to music and just fuck about, basically. But because we'd been spending a lot of time in the pub, we decided that one day we were going to get in the bath and play barmaids. Now, my friend's mum, at this point, God knows what she'd consumed or where she was at, bless her. She had a lot of her own struggles, and like I say, there's no judgment in this story whatsoever. I just need to confirm that. I just need to try and be as honest with the picture as I can be. So she'd fallen asleep in her armchair while me and my friend decided we were going to go and have a bath. And we decided to play barmaids in the bath with whatever resources were there, including a glass pint pot. So you can see where this one's going, can't you? So as me and my friend were pouring pints with the bath water, serving them to each other on the top of the little ledge on the bath, having a great time, the glass smashed in the bath. Now, you can imagine the shock when me and my friend just like messing about in the bath, looked down and it was red. And we were like, oh shit, what the fuck is this? So we immediately both jump out of the bath, start screaming, because why would you not? We're bleeding. And run into a mum. And a mum awakens and kind of takes care of us. And then we just get back on with it. Now, the reason this story sticks so vividly in my brain is because I still have the scars on my body, a physical reminder of that experience. And was it a good one? No, but it was part of the story. It was part of the timeline, so it shall be spoken. Oh, itchy nose. Sorry. Excuse me. So, after this incident, me and this girl spent a lot more time together going kind of through high school and stuff, and I'll dig deeper into those situations in the next season. But whilst we were in year 6 and my friend's mum was actually working in the pub that my dad frequented, my friend was staying there on a school night. And obviously I was like, well, I want to fucking stay here. This is a really cool place. Like, yeah, I definitely want to stay here. So we asked our parents, and sure, why the fuck not? As long as you get up for school in the morning and walk yourself down there. Absolutely fine. Me and my mate are buzzing. Yeah, boy, we're staying in the pub. Fucking bad gal. Oh, but it's so funny because I'm like, oh wow, we were literally chippy kids. Like, fucking hell. So we spend the night in the pub, and when we awaken in the morning, we go back behind the bar. There's no adults around because mum's asleep upstairs. We've just gotten ourselves ready to go to school because it was only pretty much, I'd say, a 10-15 minute walk away. It wasn't far. So we toddle downstairs. We're wandering around the bar. We're like, ooh, what can we get? What can we get from the bar? And we think, well, let's go and make something for dinner first. So we go into the kitchen and make a butty. And we've wrapped that up. And then we go back in to the front of the bar. Now, the first thing we spot are the pepperonis. So, of course, we take the pepperonis. Fucking top tier snack. But alongside the pepperonis, because this is back in the day where everything was on show in a pub, we were like, lighters. There was a whole box of lighters just sat there. So me and my mate are like, what can we do here? So sneaky little us decided we were going to take the lighters and stash them. And we'd figure it out what we were going to do with them. So in the pocket they went, and we toddled to school feeling like absolute little badasses. We get to school and the entrepreneurial skill decides to kick in, because we thought it was a great idea to start selling these lighters in the playground. Like little mafia bosses. Like, what the fuck? What the fuck? And yeah, we soon got fucking busted for that one, to be honest. It was a given. We didn't really understand that if you were going to do things in the playground, people are always fucking observing. But that was the difference, because when we were away from that environment, we were never being observed. We were just fucking left to our own devices, therefore, doing what we want. We can do what we want without repercussion because children should be seen and not heard and all that shit. So there we were. I got detention for a week for that. Can you fucking believe? Detention for a week. In year 6, that was a big fucking deal. And I don't remember, like, my dad particularly punishing me. I don't know whether that one's just kind of slipped from the memory bank. But he wasn't a big punishment kind of guy. He was like, oh, that's my daughter kind of scenario. Well, that was great, Pa. Thanks. But that was what it was. Now, as I said earlier in the episode, I'm going to be talking about my first experience with death here. And it was when I think it was like end of year 5, year 6. And as I mentioned earlier in the season, I was taken into other people's families, and the particular family that had the 5 sisters was a huge part of my upbringing. Like, I was there daily, and 24 hours less than that I'd seen my friend at home. We were all messing about, just being kids, just making up dance routines and being on the park and just having fun together. Less than 24 hours later, I was told she'd passed. And at first, I didn't quite believe it. I thought that someone was just taking the piss and it was a bit of a joke until I got to school and other kids were crying and it hit. Like, oh shit, this wasn't a joke. Like, this is real life. And it's just, I'm glad I get to tell the story because I'm honouring her by telling this story. And I still think about this young woman daily. She doesn't leave my thoughts, and I think she really showed me at a young age what really being a caring, just protective, loving person looked like. That is who she is. That is who she will always be. And shortly after, her funeral arrived. Obviously, I'm getting a bit emotional. Let's just bring it back in for a second. So the funeral arrived, and again, it was my first kind of experience with that. And even though you're present in that moment, you can never understand the gravity of just not having your friend there. Like, one day she's there, one day she's not. And I can't even imagine what that family feels, what they felt like, even to this day. It absolutely sits with me because it was too soon. On this realm anyway. And yeah, being at the funeral, and there's a particular song, and if anyone watching my podcast was around me and that scenario during that time, they'll know the one song that triggers it every single time. And yeah, my experience and talking about that, it's not for me. Like, the more I've just spoken about it, the more I'm like, I'm just talking for her, because she was just an incredible kid. And on that note, that is where I'm going to leave today's episode, because I'll remember that girl just in all of her glory, and that's what she deserves. So, this has been the last episode of season 2 of Dysfunction Exposed. In season 3, we're getting right back into the gritty. We're getting right back into the nitty gritty. It's coming. So, I have been Emma J. This has been Dysfunction Exposed, and I will find you next week for season 3. Have a great week.